name is Margot Daykin, and I'm the Sustainability Manager for the City of Richmond. Deborah asked me to come today to talk about the challenges and opportunities of local governments in our adaptation planning work. The City of Richmond is in our early stages of this, but we'll hope by sharing some of our preliminary experiences that we can add to the information and knowledge and contribute to advancement of work in this really critical area. So what I thought I'd talk to you about is just give you a little bit of context about Richmond. When we're dealing with climate change management, we are dealing with management of communities. And I'll give you a little bit of overview of what we are doing in the City of Richmond, and then share our experiences with challenges and opportunities. So for those who have been to Richmond, it's actually located to the south of Vancouver. It is actually truly an island city by nature. And while most of the development in the community is on the largest island of Lulu Island, the city is comprised of a series of 17 islands. And that includes Sea Island, which is the home of the Vancouver International Airport. So this is a place where the majestic Fraser River meets the Pacific Ocean. So it's a place where the river meets the sea. And that means that the City of Richmond is located in one of the most productive ecosystems in the world. The Fraser River is one of the largest salmon-producing rivers. The estuarine environment supports an abundance of aquatic and terrestrial life. And the city is located on the migratory path as a major migratory route of the Pacific Flyway. It's also a place where farm meets the city. It's a place where actually 40% of the land base is currently in the agriculture land reserve. So we have a strong farming community, and we have this growing and developing urban center that abut right next to each other. It's also a place of heritage, and it's a place that's moving into the future. So the City of Richmond came from First Nations. People were here doing largely fishing, and then the early settlers came in around the 1860s. They were attracted by the fertile soils of the islands, and over time, the agriculture and then the fishing industry grew within Richmond. In the little community of Steeston that is south of Richmond, there's still a large maritime heritage. So we have these strong heritage ties, and at the same time the city is moving into the future. It's looking to develop a complete compact community. We're the home of the Olympic skating venue for the 2010 Winter Games. So we have lots of connections and things to consider and reconcile. And the city is also very multicultural diverse. 60% of the community is from Chinese and South Asian ancestry. And it's just a wide diversity of people. So we have this community, we have this past, and we have this future, and then we got climate change. So that was just it is truly been inconvenient for us. So here's another landscape picture of our city, and you can see that the strong agricultural component, and then the right adjacent to it, the urban core. So from our experience, what we're doing with climate change, we've kind of taken some early action steps that we could see that just make sense, and we just are going ahead and taking proactive action. And then we also saw the need that we can't overload ourselves with a million things to do and manage all those things very well, so that we actually had to move into some sort of strategic planning. I'll just go over some of the quick actions that we're taking. This is a picture of our city hall. And basically the city has a high performance building policy. We have set standards for our own facilities. We have a strong energy management system for retrofitting our existing buildings. We have existing programs that will help us in our adaptation. We have a 3-layered flood protection management system for the city. We have a whole perimeter dike system. We have an internal system of pumps and canals. And then we have a very strong operation and maintenance program that has been established for a long time, because flooding risk isn't new to Richmond, and so we have a strong system that we can already build upon. We also have corporate practices that we're trying to advance in terms of environmental sustainability. We have our purchasing guide. We have a green fleet policy. About 10% of the City of Richmond's corporate fleets are in alternative vehicles. In the early 1990s, the city actually adopted an ESA bylaw that actually tries to protect green space and natural features around the city. We've tried to acquire, and in this case we have the nature park, which is a 200-acre bog forest in the center of our city. We're very active in promoting bicycling and cycling and greenway development, and we have bike fleets within our own city. We have compost and recycling and solid waste management outreach programs, and of course as a city we deliver the recycling services for residents. We do a wide variety of outreach with the community. One of the things we're doing this year is we partner with the British Columbia Sustainable Energy Association, and they're actually running climate change showdown workshops within Richmond schools. And we're always trying to look and seek innovative action. Just 2 months ago, we were piloting the installation of a street light that is actually wind and solar powered. And it's located in Gary Point Park. One of our opportunities might be wind power because of our location. So we've just put this up and we're testing that over the next 6 months to see how that works. On top of these initiatives and programs that we already have existing, we try to take advantage of opportunities as they arise. This is the Richmond Olympic Oval, which is a sizable facility and is located actually right on the foreshore. When we went to build this, we used the development opportunity to move the existing river road. We had a dike for the river, and then below that was the land of the area. We moved the river road behind the oval, created parking, which is really on top of the existing land, and made the habitable space now above the dike level. So we increased flood protection by strengthening the dike, by reinforcing the width, and increasing the habitable space elevation. We also had a project last year where we were fortunate to receive provincial funding under the Provincial Emergency Dike Improvement Works. And we did dike reinforcement along our south dike. And in doing this work, we actually took an innovative approach where we redesigned the dike to actually protect the foreshore that was there. We realigned it to go around. We actually have a curved dike, which is actually new for a lot of places. Usually we reinforce right along the shoreline, right connected to the river. And we actually went out, got our features, realigned the dike to protect it, and we actually now have a foreshore that may not help us in extreme events, but will help increase flood protection during more generalized events. At the same time, we're also enhancing ecological health and well-being. So we saw early that we had a whole bunch of stuff that we were doing, but we weren't sure if those were priority actions, if they were getting the results that we needed, and if we were covering everything that we needed to do. So we identified the need to start getting into some strategic planning. So last fall, Council adopted a comprehensive plan to figure out if our initiatives are moving us in the right direction and make sure we're not missing anything. And it's based on a 3-pillar approach. We saw that we needed to really empower. We need to empower ourselves. We need to empower the community because we recognize that climate change it can't be held within any one agency, and it's a societal responsibility that we all need to get involved. So we saw that the City of Richmond had a strong role in empowerment. We also saw that we had to continue with the greenhouse gas emissions, and rather than using the technical language of mitigation, we chose to use the word prevent, so that it would be much more easier for people to understand right away what we're talking about, and prepare. So our prepare pillar is where we're trying to look at what we can do to assist ourselves as a corporation and our local community to adapt to those unavoidable changes. So this is kind of what it looks like. We have, and they're all well-meaning, and we all get excited about all these global matter. So this global, I think our real key opportunity. And for us, we think that climate change is an imperative, and we need to take action directly on climate change, but this needs to be more done on a focus of sustainability. So on one hand, we have a problem, but the more that society can identify those sustainable community pathways, the more we'll be focusing on where we want to go, rather than trying to ameliorate and continuously manage the negative effects of where we've come from and know that we need to shift. So where we need to take the strategic mitigative action to address the consequences of, or potential consequences of action that we've done to date, we need to at least have sufficient emphasis on continuing to develop where we want to go. Because where climate change is an issue today, we know that we're going to get food security, energy security. We know that there's a whole lot of issues on the horizon. And we need to actually start focusing on those pathways that integrate all those considerations together so that we can be strategic and we're not dying by a death of a million different initiatives. I think a key opportunity is to really look at the whole system approach. So really start backwards and say, well, what are the different roles and functions of everybody involved in charting out a sustainable pathway? And then relook at allocating resources and expertise in that way. Right now we have an existing system, an existing way of doing business where we're just trying to layer on enhancement and improvements. But for us to make measurable change, I think we have to look at how we work as a collaborative society and in a whole system approach. I think that there's a lot of opportunity to leverage existing policies and programs, and we need to take the time to really understand what we're already doing so we can actually refine those that make sense, maybe get rid of the ones that don't, and then add the new ones. But if we're just continuously having an additive mentality, we will again overwhelm ourselves with stuff we're trying to manage. So if we have a dike management program with the City of Richmond and the province, and then we layer on the Fraser Basin to do their work, we need to really understand that whole system, and then each of us take measured work within an overarching system. I think we need to start championing, I call it systematic investment. As a local government, we have quite a bit of opportunity right now to pursue sustainability-based programs and plans, but the funding for that is all segmented in different institutions. It takes quite a lot of energy to find out where they are, make sure you have the right deadlines, have the right criteria, and you're often fitting what you kind of want to do in criteria for this other funding. Even with our dike upgrade program, what the city did was actually start a dike utility so that we have local systemic funding. We don't have systemic funding from the province, but we do get opportunities to apply. I think we need to move towards more program-based areas and action and programs, and then fund those programs over a longer horizon rather than be so focused on one-off initiatives and projects. And then I think we do need to champion empowerment and the messaging around that we all own this agenda, and that we are all able to advance action, and that through this way we'll make the impacts that we need to make. And I think that's all.